The directors of Mansfield and Ashfield Broadcasting Limited would like to completely distance themselves from any of the possible offensive material likely to be spouted by Martin Kelner and guests during the next 2 hours. For the avoidance of any doubt, you listen entirely at your own risk.
Long-distance lawyers and members of worldwide pressure groups can listen online at mansfield103.co.uk. All complaints should be addressed to Auntie Flo, 22 Fletcher Road, the Cayman Islands.
Young ears should not be listening to this programme.
Martin Kelner on Mansfield 103.2.
From my dad on Mansfield 103.2.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
I just find it absolutely thrilling.
It's my dad's fantastic show.
The one and only
Martin Kelner.
Like, that is my favorite name.
Really?
Yeah.
You were doomed. Doomed, I tell you.
Is there any risk of brain damage?
Just make it happen.
Doomed. Doomed, doomed, doomed we are. Oh, right.
Wilma, I'm home!
Happy Christmas from my dad.
Oof, goodness, that says Christmas almost more than anything. That's Christmas Canon by the Trans-Siberian Orchestra here on Mansfield 103.2, the home of great music. I've come today via Sheffield this Saturday, and I know loads and loads of you will have been shopping, probably in Meadowhall, but why bother? When you've got a dirty great Wilkinson's in town, do you need to go to Meadowhall? I'm just looking at the advert for Wilkinson's here, and they're not paying me anything. Christmas essentials from 15 pence. Wilko gold budget tinsel. And nothing says Christmas like gold budget tinsel. 2 metres for 15 pence. Can't say about 55p for those sequin baubles that you hang from the ceiling or from the tree. 97p for a sprig of mistletoe. And 97p for a box of 40 Christmas cards. I wonder what they're going to be like. Transparent, you can see through them. The thinnest paper ever invented in history. They've probably got technicians working all year round to devise paper that's thin enough to sell 40 Christmas cards for 97p. So why go anywhere else? And I love the highlighter pens. Reason I've come via Sheffield is my daughter Martha, who's going to do some quality sidekickery tonight, is a student at Sheffield University. Martha, welcome along. Happy Christmas and all that.
Thank you for having me. It's an honour to be here.
No, it's a pleasure, Martha. Now, you're a student at Sheffield University. What are you studying there?
I'm studying journalism.
Really? I thought I ought to know, as I'm paying all these fees, and I just wonder what the heck you were doing there. So you're doing journalism?
Oh, your money's going to good use.
You reckon so?
You, yeah.
Excellent. So I look forward to that. So when you do a journalism course, where they teach you to lie and then sort of write it in nice...
Yeah, that's exactly. That's you've got the gist of it.
Brilliant. Okay, well you can contribute more later on. We had on the show about a week or two ago. We had Chris Donald, the editor of Viz, and I looked in the current Christmas issue if there are any good top tips there, and some of these are very, very good. This is the latest Christmas issue of Viz, which is about £3.20, but you probably get it for 15p in Wilkinson's. It says, make your neighbours think that they live next door to Cliff Richard by stapling a rhino scrotum to your neck and having a retired vicar move in with you so that you never lose it. They've not lost it. We'll play some more bizarre Christmas stuff between now and midnight. Also, Paul Rising will be chattering about what the chattering classes are chattering about. And I think Anthony Farrell will join us as well. Right now on Mansfield 103.2, these are the Eagles.
Oh, sweet darling, you get the best of my love.
You know, I think we sometimes forget how good the Eagles were. That's Best of My Love by the Eagles. I'd forgotten myself, to be honest, but I was in the market in Wakefield, where I live, and I found a Best of the Eagles CD for £4. And I thought, I've got to snap that up, because they were such a good group all those years ago. Best of My Love by the Eagles here on Mansfield 103.2. A little bit of advice for you if you've only got one leg. I know we have a lot of monopeds like to listen on a Saturday night. If you go, because this is the height of the shoplifting season, if you are going to steal shoes, steal both. Don't just steal one shoe, because that more or less actually, you're cutting down the list of suspects for the police. So this has happened in Brussels. A one-legged suspect was caught after only one shoe went missing from a store in Belgium. Now, if somebody goes in and steals one shoe, they pretty well know, or they can trace who's nicked it. The amputee came under immediate suspension. Suspension? It's a new word there. Came under immediate suspicion because there was just one shoe. This was this shop in Belgium. Police said authorities were alerted and quickly located the man. It was a Russian guy, interesting enough, and he was hobbling. Anyway, the police got hold of him. They let him off. There's time to hop it. Right, that's that done. It's quality material here, Martha.
It is. That's cutting edge stuff.
It's cutting edge stuff, you're quite right. And there'll be more cutting edge stuff in just a moment. Stay with us. It's not Manfield at all. It's Mansfield 103.2.
The fabulous late Martin Kelner show may contain adult material and language that some listeners could find offensive.
The fabulous late Martin Kelner show.
Marvellous. One of the new breed of British female singers who all sound a little bit like Amy Winehouse. That's the lovely Adele. She's sort of outdoor type, Adele, and Chasing Pavements there. Now, here's shocking news. Shocking news here on Mansfield 103.2, coming up to Christmas. Tigers are getting a bit gay. Not sort of gay in the widest possible sense. Zookeepers in China are apparently having to toughen up a group of timid tigers. They've got 5 white and they're not behaving like tigers are supposed to behave. They're more like the tigers on the sort of Frosty packet. The 5 white tigers at Chongqing Wild Animal Park were originally trained to perform circus tricks, but they've lost their natural savagery. They've been in the comfort zone there, in a Chinese zoo there. Zoo staff have been trying to bring out their hunting instincts by throwing them live chickens. I don't know about you, but if somebody throws me a live chicken, it sort of tends to ginger me up a bit. But apparently not to the tigers, to no avail. The tigers were so scared they wouldn't go near them, says keeper Xiu Kuang. And notice how I restrain myself from doing a Chinese accent there. He said, one chicken. He said one chicken passed out and the tigers did eventually approach it. But then when it woke up and squawked, they ran for their lives. So these chickens are frightening tigers in China, which is shocking news in itself, isn't it, Martha?
It is shocking news. I thought a while ago in China they were throwing chickens to lions for entertainment. Wasn't there a big hoo-ha about that?
Oh, there's always a big hoo-ha.
Yeah.
They're always throwing stuff. It's like, in Spain they're always throwing donkeys off church towers, which I think should be on Sky pay-per-view. But, there are always people throwing stuff all over the place. You're absolutely right about that. And I think that did happen in China. Mm-hmm. But normally you show a Chinese person an animal and they will eat it. They'll eat parts. Have you ever been to an authentic Chinese restaurant and seen some of the stuff on the menu there?
Yeah, they hang it up like on washing lines, don't they, in the window?
That's the ducks. They do that, yeah, because they are better when they're well hung, if you know what I'm saying, missus. But, no, I'm not sure. It's very difficult. You've got your daughter in with you. Where, you can't do that as many of the double entendres. You don't mind, you've heard them all before. But no, what I'm saying is if you go to a Chinese restaurant, if you look, it's things like, donkey scabs in a hoisin sauce. It's all sorts of bizarre things you wouldn't ever have thought of eating. And all delicious.
Sometimes actually. I really fancy a donkey slab in hoisin sauce.
Of course you do, and I'm sure there's places you can get it. We, in fact, have been for a meal beforehand, and you should have stopped me from drinking that second bottle of Cobra, should you not?
Yeah, it's
your
affected
fault.
The reflexes somewhat.
I think it has slightly. But we went to officially Nottingshire's number one Indian restaurant, did we not?
We did Chand, was it called?
It was called Chand.
Very nice it was indeed.
Yeah, it was nice. I wouldn't say it was number one, though. I mean, I've not been to every...
I've only been to one, so it's my number one.
Yeah, and it's my number one too, for the very same reason. Now, shortly on the programme, we're going to be talking to Paul Rising. He'll be chattering about what the chattering classes are chattering about. We'll play some Christmas stuff as well, but I know a lot of people don't like Christmas songs. So what I've done is to save a bit of time, we've got 2 Christmas songs knitted together. You'll be familiar with Wombling Merry Christmas. All day long we will be wombling. You know that one, Martha?
I do.
And the other one, the Roy Wood one. Oh, I wish it could be Christmas every... But you wouldn't want to listen to both of them.
So on key.
Fantastic, isn't it? You wouldn't want to listen to both of them, would you?
No,
not really. Well, here's the two of them stitched together.
Martin Kelner on Mansfield 103.2.
Hey, Dad, what are you doing in Mansfield?
Marvellous. Well, some of you will remember or you'll know the characters from South Park, and that's who it was, and that is the South Park Christmas album, which is called Mr. Hankey's Christmas Classics. And the characters there were Stan Marsh and Wendy Testerberger. Lovely.
One of the traditional Christmas anthems.
It's not actually that traditional, but it's one of these big band things. I think it crops up in some of those Christmas movies you get in the States. You know, some things with Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, those sort of things. I think it crops up in that. It's great. It's because it's got a little big band bit in the middle of it. It's Martin Kelner here on Mansfield 103.2. A little bit of pre-Christmas arsing about. And it's a pleasure to have my daughter, Martha, who's... I've been very, very fortunate in securing her services tonight for the cost of an Indian meal. Now, our favourite columnist, A.A. Grundy in the Worksop Guardian, and it's getting towards Christmas, and he seems to be sort of infested with a bit of festive spirit, because I'm looking at the column this week to see what's got his goat, and in fact, the Christmas lights were switched on in Worksop, and I thought, well, he's bound to have a go at that. But no, he's very pleased with it. He says half the town turned out for the annual festive fandango in the marketplace. For that one fleeting moment during the year, we see how brilliant our town could be. Virtually all the people who turn up are normal folk like you and me, writes A.A. Grundy. The scroats all stay away, thank God. See, scroats is not a word you would normally find in local papers, but he's the law unto himself. However, he does find something to have a go at, and I'm with him on that, to be honest. He says, as for the German continental market billed for the afternoon, well, I don't reckon a hot dog van selling frankfurters out of a giant-sized catering tin from the cash and carry is much of a substitute for genuine German bratwurst. Still, it was all good, clean fun, he says, and for at least once a year I get to cheer up a bit, which is annoying for us, because we like it when he's angry about something. But he's dead right about those German markets. Have you been to one of those German markets?
Yeah, I've been to a couple. I've been to the one in Leeds and the one in Wakefield, and I have to say, Grundy is spot on with his analysis of the cuisine that they're offering there.
Oh, totally. And the great thing is, it's like a big long sausage in a little bun. You know, what is the point of that? You've got, like, overhang at both ends of the bun.
Nothing more annoying than having your sausage and not having your bread to go with it.
Hey, was that a double entendre?
I'm throwing myself into the humour of it all.
You are. It's a chip off the old block there. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, next time I see a German, I'm going to ask him, why the little bun and the big sausage? Hey, what is mit the big sausage and the little bun? And we'll maybe find out at that point. What else? Oh, yeah, the other thing he's having a go at is these Christmas hamper clubs, and I'm afraid I'm with him again there. These are people contribute all year, and they go into a scheme. So at Christmas, all their money's been saved and they get a hamper. Yeah. But the hamper's, like, not worth half as much as they've paid over the year. You know, not even a quarter as much as they've paid over the year. And he's summed it up here in a very A.A. Grundy way. He says, chances are a couple of battered cardboard boxes will be delivered by DHL on Christmas Eve. Inside will be all the stuff nobody in their right mind would buy for Christmas. Catering-sized tins of ye olde oak ham, unknown brand cheese straws, strange chocolates with Arabic symbols on the base. I've never actually seen these strange chocolates with the Arabic symbols, but he's right about the big tin of ye old oak ham, although I like the tin of ham. I know that tin of ham is a thing that only older people will eat. I like the jelly round the outside of the...
Oh, that is disgusting.
Well, I like it, what can I say? Right, we're going to play a recessionary. This is because let's not pretend that this is, that everybody's flush with money. It's the recession. We're all deep into the recession. And I've looked for a recessionary Christmas song, and I found a really old country song, which is absolutely brilliant. It's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And it's a guy called Merle Haggard. This is it. Cheered us all up. That's Merle Haggard, and if we make it through December, it's Martin Kelner on Mansfield 103.2, the home of great music, and I'm back with the gayest Christmas song ever next.
The fabulous late Martin Kelner Show.
See, I think the ending there's a bit of a cop-out. I saw Daddy Kissing Santa, in these enlightened times, I saw Daddy Kissing Santa Claus there by Kip Adotta. But I hoped it was going to, take it through to its logical conclusion, a civil partnership and all that. And I played that specially because it's time to go to Hampstead in NW3, where that stuff is very much de rigueur, as they say. And in Hampstead, we find the one and only Mr. Paul Rising. Paul, good evening to you.
Bonsoir, bonsoir. Good evening, Darkpool, Greyfield, Mireworth.
Mireworth, yeah.
Wilmington and all the other desperate places.
None of these places are anywhere near Mansfield.
No. The appalling Mansfield.
Mansfield's in festive mood at the moment with Aladdin on at the Theatre Royal. Very good, I'm told. There's several actors in it who've been in The Bill and Casualty.
Oh, what a picture it conjures
various
up.
programmes on CBBC. And a very good comedian playing Wishy Washy, I'm told.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I've not seen him myself, but I'm told he's very good. And it's festive here. I mean, what happens in Hampstead?
Well, I was so glad you asked, because today, in fact, I had a call from my friend Mr. Thomas, and Mr. Thomas and Mr. Higgins and I are going in a week or two to something called the Ice Bar in London, which I didn't know about, but in fact it is the United Kingdom's only permanent bar made of ice, and it's kept at -5 degrees all year round, and everything inside is made out of crystal clear ice, harvested specially from the frozen Torn River in a long name, northern Sweden.
Yeah.
And what happens is,
if you want to be cold and wet all year round, come to Mansfield, mate. I mean, what's the point in going?
Well, no, this is fantastic, because you get this wonderful sort of vodka, and you get a designer thermal cape with a hood to keep you warm during your visit. And it says here, building on the tradition of groundbreaking design. I haven't been there, but it looks extraordinary. Visitors could be thinking they were at the bottom of the sea, as a series of underwater effects and visuals provide guests with the impression that they are in a remote subaquatic station.
Yeah?
There are sort of projections of jellyfish on the wall, and this is the bit I like. In keeping with the theme, a large periscope allows guests to zoom in from the underwater surroundings, while bartenders dressed in submariner attire serve unique fusions of flavour which have been specifically developed to complement the new surroundings. Isn't that wonderful?
Pardon my French, Paul, but that sounds like total bollocks to me.
Oh,
and I suspect...
no.
I suspect only in London could you persuade people to put ridiculous capes and gowns on and be at 5 degrees below zero.
You have a thermal cape. You're warm, and you're served these infusions of vodka in glasses made of ice.
You can go to J.D. Wetherspoons across the road here, and during happy hour, you can probably get about 5 times as much vodka for half the price.
Yes.
And you don't have to put a stupid thermal cape on and a flipping hat.
But the ambience is everything, don't you find?
Ambience. Well, the ambience in Wetherspoons, you can't argue with success. I heard their guy, Tim Martin, I think he's called, who's the managing director, on the radio this week talking about their results. And they'd had fantastic results. They're opening hundreds of, banks that are shutting down. And the second the banks shut down, in go Wetherspoons or insurance offices or whatever, and they're purveyors of high-quality, low-price alcohol and an approximation of food, sort of like an artist's impression of food.
Well, we do things differently down here.
Yeah, I know that.
Things down here, as you know, only from your occasional escorted visits, are reassuringly expensive.
Yes.
That's how we tell that it's quality.
Yeah, in a few years' time you'll be laughing at the fact that you were ever persuaded to spend 50 quid on 3 vodkas in some stupid ponced-up place made of ice.
You're being very bitter this evening, if I may say so.
That's my style, mate.
No, what it will be a lovely memory that I can carry on and always... I can cherish. Maybe. I can get it out and rub it, cherish it.
So, in Hampstead, is there a sort of bit of a Christmas shopping frenzy on at the moment? Are people...
There was a little ceremony the other day. I have to say they had a little ceremony to light up the Christmas lights and on the tree. And the tree is the shortest tree I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The tree is no higher than a postal box. You have postal boxes?
We have postal boxes, yeah. I think
still
the
deliver letters, isn't that your part of that part of the
People
world?
still have letters, yeah, I think so. People
astonishing.
People have sent Christmas cards. You can buy a lot of Christmas cards very cheap in Wilkinson's.
Wilkins?
Yes, they say you can get 40 for 97 pence.
Good heavens.
40 Christmas cards. I bet you've not got 40 for 90. Have they got a branch of Wilkinson's in Hampstead?
As you know, someone told me about Wilkinson's, and you can more or less divide the nation into those people who know about Wilkinson's and those people who don't.
We love it.
And I said, "You're kidding, aren't you?" I mean, I've never heard of this place. And I went back and I looked on the World Wide Webkin.
Yeah.
And that, blow me down, there it was. This huge chain.
It's marvellous.
They even have it in London.
Yeah, they will have it. Not where you live, but south of the river they'll have them all over the place. 80 pence for a pack of 6 crackers.
Well.
Do you know, I'll tell you what you can get in there, very good highlighter pens. And they're just as good as, the proper highlighter pens. They're only about like 50 pence. I use loads of them.
Well, I must pay a visit to Wilkinson's.
Next time you're up north. Next time you're up north, mate, go to
Well, I
Wilkinson's.
think there may be even one in London somewhere. I'll have to sort of type, I'd have to type in my postcode and they'll tell me where my nearest Wilkinson's would be.
It won't be in Hampstead, I can pretty well guarantee you of that.
No.
But they're very, very good, I go with my little daughter, my 9-year-old, because she likes it, because she can buy lots of little bits of stationery cheap.
Yeah.
And whenever I go into town, she says, "Oh, can we go to Wilkinson's, Dad?" My mum won't let me go there because she says it's just cheap rubbish. But, if you're a kid, what is better when you're a kid than cheap rubbish?
Yes.
I love cheap rubbish.
Well, I
think it was Noel Coward who said, "Strange the potency of cheap rubbish."
Was it Noel Coward?
No, it's just me, actually.
It's
very
very beautiful. I may write it down.
Yeah. And just a final statistic for you before you go, Paul.
Oh, am I going?
Yes. Statistically, 6 out of... Hang on, I'll do that again. I had a couple of drinks tonight. I won't pretend I haven't. Statistically, 6 out of 7 dwarves are not happy. So, there you are. Something to take away with you, Paul, to your friends in Hampstead. You tell them that, they'll be laughing their socks off, or laughing their capes off.
I might try that out of the ice bar.
Try it out in the ice bar.
When I go there. I'll be thrilled to tell you all, what it was like when I've been.
Paul, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a joy.
And the joy's been all mine. Paul Rising there, joining us from Hampstead NW3, chattering about what the chattering classes are chattering about. And we'll get a view from the sort of other side of the tracks a little bit later on when we join Anthony Farrell.
It's Martin Kelner on a Saturday night.
Santa Claus.
Oh, there he is, the godfather of soul on Mansfield 103.2. That's James Brown and Santa Claus Goes Straight to the Ghetto. Now, if you want to have fun this Christmas, you could try this yourself, Martha. It's Martin Kelner, by the way, here in person, and delighted to have secured at great cost my daughter Martha, who's a journalism student at Sheffield University, and a star of, what's your radio station called there?
Forge Radio. I'm not actually a star, I've done 2 shows, but...
Hey, don't undersell yourself. Take it from the old man, you're a star of... Forge Radio, the Sheffield student radio. And this is some fun you can all have, whether you're journalism students or not. And that is going onto Amazon and reviewing. So, you put reviews on there, and they're mostly reviews of books, but you can go on there and just review, because they sell things like Bic Biros on Amazon. And I've been on there reviewing the Silverline 763591 the 763591 8-ounce tubular shaft claw hammer. And I've reviewed this hammer on there, so how much and some other people have added their reviews. Steve Greenlaw adds a review underneath mine. He says, "I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. So said Trini Lopez, and with a Silverline 8-ounce tubular shaft claw hammer, he could surely achieve all his aims. Anyone who's wanted a thick shaft with a polished head whilst banging away cannot go wrong with this quality item. Would have given it 5 stars were it not for the fact that the Silverline 16-ounce tubular shaft claw hammer is available for just an extra 97p. You can get the 16-ounce one. It's probably cheaper in Wilkinson's. If you need a weightier shaft, if you know what I'm saying, missus, then that's the one to go for, the 16-ounce. Finally, Mr. Lopez also wanted a bell to ring, because he also said, you probably don't know the song, it's an old one, Martha. It's "If I Had a Hammer," and then he says, "If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning." Have you ever heard that record?
I've not, no.
No. You wouldn't recognise it from my singing anyway.
No.
If you had.
My musical horizons are being broadened, though, every second.
Well, anyway, he said if I had a hammer, then he said if I had a bell. Well, also on Amazon, for just £5.99, hand bell for pub. time at the bar. 19 centimetres in length, missus, with a lovely polished bell end, it says here. These two items would no doubt bring great pleasure to Mr. and Mrs. Lopez for many years to come. And I've reviewed the bell as well. So if you want to go onto Amazon and have a look at my reviews, I've reviewed handbell for the pub and Silverline 763591. And this great thing is, when you review something on Amazon under your real name, which I always do, it says, see all my reviews. And it's got so you can get to my review of the hammer and my review of the bell on Amazon. And it'll leave you chuckling possibly for a short time. But the main thing is when it says see all my reviews, it's only got my review of the bell and the hammer. It's not got all the reviews of my book that I did under false names. It's not got any of those, but there you go. Right, good. That's cleared all that up. And it's Martin Kelner here with daughter Martha, doing quality sidekickery, Martha, if I may say so myself.
Thank you.
Absolutely. On Mansfield 103.2. Here's confirmation.
Martin Kelner on Mansfield 103.2.
That's right. And here's 10cc.
Drum days and a humdrum ways.
The fabulous late Martin Kelner Show.
Yeah, that's Bare Naked Ladies, who come from Scarborough. That's Scarborough in Ontario, as you know, Martha.
Not Scarborough in North Yorkshire.
Not Scarborough in North Yorkshire. Scarborough, near Ontario in Canada. The Bare Naked is with Michael Bublé on that as well. And it's called An Elf's Lament. That's interesting, isn't it? Right, good evening. It's Mansfield 103.2. We're just asking about Mansfield 103.2. It's Martin Kelner, and I've got my daughter Martha with me as well. And I've got a letter here, Martha. Somebody sent me a text of a letter. The headline is Life in the Australian Army. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to do an Australian accent here, Martha.
Oh, no.
Or an approximation. So this is the text of a letter from a kid from a very small farming town in Australia, in Queensland, to Mum and Dad. Dear Mum and Dad, I'm well. I hope yous are too. Tell me big brothers Doug and Phil that the army is better than working on the farm. Tell them to get in bloody quick smart before all the jobs are gone. I was a bit slow settling down at first because you don't have to get out of bed till 6 a.m. But I like sleeping in now because all you got to do before brekkie is make your bed and shine your boots and clean your uniform, mate. No bloody cows to milk, no calves to feed, no feed to snack, nothing. You've got to have a shower, but it's not so bad because there's lots of hot water and even a light to see what you're doing. At brekkie, you get cereal, fruit and eggs, but there's no kangaroo steaks or possum stew like what Mum makes. You don't get fed when you ring to the accent. It's bad, isn't it?
It's quite bad, yeah.
Okay. You don't get... Well, just got to use your imagination, right? It's Australian. God's sake. You don't get fed again till noon, and by that time all the city boys are buggered because we've been on a route march. Jeez, it's only just like walking to the windmill in the back paddock. This one will kill me brothers Doug and Phil with laughter. I keep getting medals for shooting. Don't know why, the bullseye's as big as a bloody possum's bum, and it don't move, and it's not firing back at you like the Johnsons did when our big scrubber bull got into their prize cows before the Ekka last year. All you got to do is make yourself comfortable and hit the target. It's a piece of piss. You don't even load your own cartridges. They comes in little boxes, and you don't have to steady yourself against the roll bar of the roo shooting truck when you reload. A lot of this is arcane Australian language, you understand. Sometimes you got to wrestle with the city boys, and I've got to be real careful, because they break easy. It's not like fighting with Doug and Phil and Jack and Burry and Steve and Muzzer all at once like we do at home after the muster. Turns out I'm not a bad boxer either, and it looks like I'm the best the platoon's got. I've only been beaten by this one bloke from the engineers. He's 6'5" and 15 stone and 3 pick handles against the shoulders. And as you know, I'm only 5'7" and 8 stone wringing wet. But I fought him till the other blokes carried me off to the boozer.
It's like watching Home and Away.
It's very much like it. Yeah. Right. So, anyway, I fought the bad till all the other blokes carried me off to the boozer. I can't complain about the army. Tell the boys to get in quick before word gets round how bloody good it is. Your loving daughter, Sheila. That's Bob Rivers, who's a sort of king of the American parody songs, and there's another Santa Claus. I think we featured Bob Rivers last week as well. It's Martin Kelner here on Mansfield 103.2. All to credit the guy who sent me that letter, Ian Bradley it was, who very rudely says, this needs an Australian accent, but do your best. So I think I did my best, didn't I?
just wasn't good enough, was it?
Wasn't quite good enough? Do you know? You don't think I'm ready for the Royal Shakespeare Company yet?
It lacked a touch of authenticity.
Yeah. All right. He also sent me this joke. A family are driving behind a garbage truck. Clearly, he's copied this off an American website because we.
Has this not got to have an American accent? Or?
Look, let's not push it. Let's say a dustbin van. A family are driving behind a dustbin van when a dildo flies out and thumps against the windscreen. Blimey. Embarrassed, and to spare her young son's innocence, the mother turns around and says, Don't worry, that was an insect. To which her son replies, blimey, I'm surprised it could have the ground with a todger like that. It doesn't actually say todger. But there we go. Thank you for that, because it is radio, and I'm very responsible about this. Ian Bradley. Very shortly, we'll find out what life's like on the other side of the tracks. In fact, in a Young Offenders Institute somewhere where we'll join our friend Anthony Ferrell. Stay with us here on Mansfield 103.2.
It's Martin Kelner. What could be more agreeable?
Oh, what can I say? I like stuff like that. The Eagles, Steely Dan there, and FM. No static at all. That was when FM was a real novelty. You know, FM radio. Oh, it's the future. FM radio. And of course, it's still the future, because here we are on Mansfield at 103.2. It's Martin Kelner with you this Saturday night. I've got my daughter Martha here, who's doing a smidgen of sidekickery. Are you not, Martha?
I am.
Very, very impressive. Yeah, that's enough. You don't say much.
I don't want to overdo it.
You don't want to don't build up your part, all right? I was mentioning a couple of weeks ago, we had Chris Donald, the founder of Viz Comic, on. I'm very excited because I went to their big do on Monday. They're celebrating 100 years of Viz.
Is that how long it's?
No, 30 years, actually. They started in 1979, and they've got a big 30-year birthday party. And there's still funny stuff in it. I don't think it's quite as funny as it was in the golden days of the 1980s, early 90s. But in the top tips in the current issue, this is quite a good one. You know, we played 10cc. You went for a 70s band. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with 10cc? We played it.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
You sort of know what they're all about, yeah. And you'll know that the members of 10cc are Graham Gouldman, Lol Cream, Kevin Godley.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously, most students know that 10cc is Kevin Godley, Lol Cream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good old Lol.
Graham Gouldman. And the other guy, Eric Stewart. But one of the tips in the top tips in Viz this month, former 10cc member Lol Cream. Little tip for former 10cc member Lol Cream: when text messaging bad news, it's probably best not to add your name at the end, as this. It's clever, that, isn't it? That is ever so clever. And after all these years, they're still being extremely clever. Now, if you're a regular listener, you'll know that I'm a bit of a sucker for country music with a story, country music that's really ridiculously sentimental. And what better time of year than coming to Christmas than this one? It's called Happy Birthday, Jesus. So you can guess what it's going to be like already. Happy Birthday, Jesus, A Child's Prayer. And it's performed by Little Cindy.
A house so quiet and humble. A child beside her bed. Her hands clasped tightly. It's time to pray. So she bows her little head.
I do hate it when the religious people try and muscle in on what is basically a retail opportunity. That was Little Cindy and A Child's Prayer. Marvellous. Hey, it's a long time since we had a homemade jingle. Here's one.
One for all and all for one. Martin Kelner is still Bobbins. One for all and all for one. His future's behind him. One for all and all for one. Even so they signed him. So he's here for everyone. Lucky, lucky you. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la. He's only been put on air. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la. 'Cause his kids need new footwear. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la. The poor chap's got to cope with all his kids' demands. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la. Although this load of tosh, sha-la-la, sha-la-la, is not worth that much dosh. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la. So in fact no money has exchanged hands. One for all and all for one. Martin Kelner is still Bobbins. One for all and all for one. Dozens can't be wrong now. One for all and all for one. Join this merry throng now. Mansfield's never had such fun on 103.2.
The fabulous Late Martin Kelner Show may contain adult material and language that some listeners could find offensive.
Martin Kelner on Mansfield 103.2.
Yes, ho, 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 let's go indeed. Mansfield at 103.2, it's Martin Kelner here, with my daughter Martha. You love the homemade jingles, do you not?
I do, I
Shall
love the jingle.
Love the jingle, isn't it?
Quite unquestionably, it's the greatest radio show. If someone chooses something else, you must hit them and shout no. It's got the greatest music and comedy you could buy. It's only on in Mansfield and the vicinity, and since they don't pay the presenter, it's entirely free. Sometimes I think I will die when I tune into that guy. I've got an ambulance on standby. I will shout it from the rooftops until I am quite hoarse, because the subject of my song is Martin Kelner, of course. Thanks to the boss who didn't for once turn round and say no, say no, say no, say no. It's 2 hours of your life that you will never get back, but Christ, enjoy it whilst he's on, because he'll soon get the sack, and you'll be sorry you missed a chance to be part of this, the fabulous Late Martin Kelner Show.
Very rarely can you pick up a local newspaper and find the word scrote twice in one column. And of course I refer to the marvellous A.A. Grundy of the Worksop Guardian, who's an interesting comment here on social housing. And you're a student, Martha. Are you familiar with the concept of social housing? Trying to help people into... It's all what we used to call council houses, I think, basically.
Right, yeah.
But they call it social housing, don't they, now?
Yeah,
and they try
spruce it up.
Yeah, makes it sound a bit classier. He's not in favour. He says, I'm hearing of plans going on to demolish some nice private dwellings in the Robinson Drive Crabtree Park area of town and build blocks of 14, in quotes, social housing flats. Crikey, that'll do wonders for housing prices round there, eh? It's time these riff-raff hostels were built far, far away from decent house-proud families. Who wants a nest of drug-dealing scrotes dumped in the middle of their neighbourhood? Social housing... in the little quote, I'm doing little rabbit's ears here, social housing. Social housing is one of the worst ideas ever dreamed up. In theory, it's supposed to give low-income, honest working families a chance to get on the housing ladder. In practice, the flats get given to worthless scum who set about trashing the place and causing nightmares. I mean, it might be a wild generalisation going on here, and causing nightmares for everybody within earshot. The plan is monstrous and must fall at the first hurdle. The council should commandeer some hellhole, like Maltby, for example, ring it with... Hello, Maltby. Ring it with steel fences and dump all the social misfits there in with their social housing. That'll give the normal folk some deserved peace at last.
Would it be fair to say that he's not quite on Oscar Wilde's level of literary eloquence?
Well, he's not, but I mean, it's so refreshing to read something in a local paper that is just so politically incorrect.
I like that, though, when he could have said scrote for the third time, he said scum instead. So.
He did. That's very, very good. It's well done there. He's probably got the words like scrote and scum and riffraff on on his computer. He just presses an S and it comes up without scum or scrote, And
A.A. Grundy's very own thesaurus.
Theosaurus, indeed. The Theosaurus. What has he got here? Somebody's written... He's always having to go at Netto and Aldi. And somebody's written in defence of Netto and Aldi, in fact. Aldi especially, there are goodies that one expects at this time of the year. They're all reasonably priced, it says in this letter, and it goes on at Netto as well. And then he gives a reply, because you can write actually to... He calls it fan mail. You can write direct to A.A. Grundy. He said, well, last time I went into Netto, I was the only one in there wearing a tie. And an old lady kept asking me, can you tell me where the custard creams are, Duck? You see, old people, he has got old people as well. Doesn't like old ladies, especially ones who keep budgies. We did that last week. He had a thing about old ladies keeping budgies. Meanwhile, very, very shortly on the show, we'll be talking to our own resident scrote, because Anthony Ferrell will be joining us. So listen out for that. That comes shortly. Right now on Mansfield 103.2, the home of great music. This is Richard Hawley.
10:30 in this hotel room.
That's Hotel Room by Richard Hawley, of course, used to be in Pulp from Sheffield, and also the Long Pigs, I think was his other band. I'm just looking, because I had a story here about Hotel Room, quite a good one. I've lost it just for the time. Oh yeah, here we go. Hotel guest left without paying. And this is basically somebody, a Cresswell woman, who went into this hotel in Chesterfield, booked into the Old House Hotel, using a card, and she stayed there for 4 nights. Staff knocked on her room door on the 30th of October, and she said, I'll be behind a second, and she was next seen getting into a taxi, But she'd been going through some trouble at home, and the magistrates were quite lenient on her. And eventually she was put on a probation supervision order and ordered to pay £179.85p compensation. Now, I'm assuming that was for the 4 nights in the Chesterfield Hotel, which you reckon that, £179.85, that sounds about right, doesn't it?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the hotel could actually put that on their adverts. You know, our special probation order weekend, 4 nights, £179.85. They could do that. Richard Hawley, anyway, in a hotel room. It just sort of tied in rather nicely there. No particular reason. Anthony Farrell will join us very shortly here on Mansfield 103.2.
The fabulous late Martin Kelner Show.
It's my dad's fantastic show.
Well, that's Darlene Love, and It's a Marshmallow World from the Phil Spector Christmas album. Phil Spector, a guy who loves Christmas and shooting people, apparently. So, now, let's... are you all right? Let's see who's on the line.
What?
Caller.
I got Daz. I got him. Can I borrow your phone card?
Yes, you're on.
Hello.
You're on? You've got a phone card?
Hello. Huh?
You've got a phone card, Anthony?
Huh?
You have a phone card, yes.
Huh?
And you're
I've got a phone card, yeah.
Anthony Farrell, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Direct from a Young Offenders Institute. We can't say exactly where, can we?
No, because I don't actually know exactly where.
No, they just, well...
Like in Mansfield with
You had a coat over your head, didn't you? And they bundled you into the...
Yeah, because the lawyer, probation, whatever,
said
like, you probably don't want to, because otherwise you're going to end up being in the news shopper. I was like, no, I don't want to be in the news shopper.
You don't want to be in the news shopper, mate?
No, not since I was in that play.
No. The what play?
I was in a play and I was in the news shopper.
Oh, right, many years ago.
Is that where you are?
Sorry?
The news shopper.
We don't get the news shopper here, we get...
It's like a local paper.
I know what it is.
What do you have?
Well, we got the Chad, which is...
The Chad?
The Chad.
Is that what you keep in the toilet?
No, it's called the Chad.
Or your chod?
It's short... No, that's a chod, yeah. Chad is short for Chronicle Advertiser, and we have the...
It isn't, though, is it?
What?
Chronicle.
It's a Chronicle... it's a Chronicle...
It should be the cat.
Well, maybe it should be. But anyway, so we've got the Chad. That's Chronicle spelt CH in that way.
Yeah.
And...
Shame.
Yeah. And we have the Mansfield Recorder, which is a...
You've only got one recorder?
It's the sort of giveaway newspaper.
What kind of music lessons do you have?
Yeah. No, it's a good point you make there, Anthony.
One person gets to finger each hole.
Yes, quite possibly. Sorry?
Hey, so it's all like... It's December, is it? It's all like Christmas and that, yeah?
Like Christmas. Yeah, you've got a bad cough there, Anthony.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Daz, I'm on the phone, I'm on the radio. So anyway, yeah?
Yeah?
I was thinking, yeah? Like this Christmas in the place, yeah? I'm going to ask if I can be the Santa Christmas.
Santa Claus, yeah?
Santa Claus, that's what I said, yeah?
Yeah, I heard you.
Because I think I could make a good Father Christmas.
Yeah, why would you make a good Father Christmas?
Well, right, let's run through it, yeah?
Let's run through it.
We'll like do a little run through, so like pretend like you're like a little child.
Right, hello Father Christmas.
A little frightened child, yeah?
I'm getting very frightened.
And
but
you've come in my little grotto.
I've come in your grotto, yeah.
You know? Right.
Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yes.
What do you want?
What do I want? I'd like a Wii. I'd like a...
Come on.
No, I'd like it. It's too easy. I'd like a Nintendo Wii.
You like a Nintendo Wii?
I'd like a Nintendo...
How's that going to fit in my trousers? How am I supposed to nick that?
No. Well,
they've got one down the boot fair, yeah, but I think it's actually a woo.
A woo.
With an umlaut over the top.
Oh, God, they're terrible, those things.
Anyway, all right. Well, all right. Have you been a good little boy or whatever this year?
I've been a good little boy, Santa.
Are you a little boy or a little girl?
I'm a little boy, Santa.
Oh, yeah. Have you been good?
I have been good, Santa.
Because, to be honest, it don't make no difference if you've been good or bad. It's just if you get caught, is it? Because I never done nothing that bad, and I got caught.
That's right.
Obviously, I wouldn't say this bit if I was being, like...
No. I'm not sure that's a message that you're sending out, a message out to young people.
Yeah. All right, well, Father Christmas, little boy's going to go out, yeah? And see if he can't, like, get you a Wii somehow.
Right. Good for you.
From the elves. Not the shop detective.
No, not the shop detective.
Because I was thinking, how do you think that went?
That went very well, Anthony. I think you could do it.
Good.
You could do it. When you get out, that's a job you could apply for.
Yeah, I know.
A slight bit of doubt.
Yeah, I know. Because I was thinking, yeah, I am a bit like Santa.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I'll come in your house.
I know.
And I'll leave a little surprise in your sock.
That's how you got into trouble in the first place.
It is, yeah.
Anthony, thank you ever so much for coming on and talking to us.
Yeah, no, I liked it. So shall I come round your house for Christmas?
I'd rather you...
Because I might have a little Christmas miracle. Maybe.
Yeah.
Might be, like, coming out a little bit sooner than you think.
It would be a Christmas
Can't
miracle.
really talk about it.
No. Well, yeah, I mean, sure.
I'll come round your house, yeah? Where do you live?
We're going to have to go because...
Give me your address. What's your surname again? Because I can just find you, it don't matter.
Okay. Anthony, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
What's your surname again?
We'll talk again soon.
What's your surname?
Tony Blackburn.
What's your surname?
We'll talk again soon,
That's
Anthony.
a bit rude.
All right.
All
right, bye. Bye-bye now.
He used to be a legend. Everybody used to know his name. But now he's on the outside, failing to hold down any fame. Martin Kelner was such a star, the brightest prospect in the Shires. But things have not been right since he was axed and replaced with Judy Spires. In previous jingles it was a joke, but nowadays we are afraid to tell you that he might be on the air, but he's not actually getting paid. I'm telling you, Mansfield, it's time to act. Please write a letter to the boss. Insist that Kelner needs a bit more cash, even though the show's a load of toss.
Hello, Mansfield. It's my dad on a Saturday night.
Well, that's an often neglected Christmas song. It's The Three Wise Men and Thanks for Christmas. It's actually Andy Partridge out of XTC. I might as well be... hang on, sorry, go on.
It's not actually The Three Wise Men?
No, it's not actually The Three Wise Men, but good guess. Andy Partridge out of XTC, and that won't mean a thing to you, will it? Having been born
that is straight over my head.
Having been born in the year 1990.
Well done.
Yeah, remember the year.
How old am I?
Well, you'll be 19, I suspect.
Well calculated.
Yeah, it's all right. So I've got 4 kids, you know. It's very hard to remember names and ages and things, Martha. It's not easy. But that's not... I don't think that's ever been on any of these compilations. I know I might be wrong. The Three Wise Men and Thanks for Christmas, but as you probably heard from the crackles on it, I actually dubbed that off one of my Christmas singles. I've been down in the cellar, Martha, getting all my singles out. And have I got some belters? I've dubbed them all onto a CD here, and if you thought that was crackly, some brilliant crackles next week. I'm going to play some of these next week. Frank Sidebottom, Christmas is Really Fantastic. Are you familiar with Frank Sidebottom?
Yeah.
Oh, Christmas is really fantastic. I'm going to put, he used to have a diver's clamp on his nose. Tony Capstick doing Capstick's Christmas Cracker, the late, great Tony Capstick. Des O'Connor, Yes, There Is a Santa Claus. I don't know whether this is sort of inviting you to listen in next week or not. Orville's White Christmas. Do you remember Orville? Are you old enough to remember Orville the Duck? No, you don't. No, all right. It's a treat for you next week, that now. The Smurfs, Christmas in Smurfland. How about the Ovaltinis and Winter Wonderland? Joe Dolce in Christmas at Our House. Joe Dolce had a hit called Shut Up in Your Face, which you won't know again. Oh, you've missed so much. You should have been born 10 years earlier. There was some great stuff about it.
That's your problem, not my problem.
Well, you might be right. I don't know why I waited 10 years. I wanted to take a run-up. So, anyway, disabled toilets, Martha.
I'm an expert on disabled
toilets. Ironically, the only toilets that are big enough to run around in. There's irony for you.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, 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 indeed. And what could be more appropriate than ho, ho, ho at Christmas time? Right, that's it for this week from me, Martin Kelner. I'll be back on Mansfield, possibly be back on Mansfield 103.2 next week. Enjoy your week's Christmas shopping, Christmas festivities, and so on. And we'll finish in the traditional manner with something laid back for you. This is Santo and Johnny.